What's up, Tyler and Keith?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. We're here with a review. We're going to talk about the new Lamb of God, titled Lamb of God. Self-titled album. It's their first album in 5 years. Follow up to Sturm und Drang. Probably butchered that.
That's basically it.
That was... I can't believe that album's 5 years old at this point.
2015, yeah, wow.
Yeah. It's insane. This is Lamb of God's 8th album. And, I mean, we're very big Lamb of God fans. Seen them multiple times live. And we reviewed the first single as well, Checkmate. Kind of lukewarm on it. But now the whole thing's here. So, what did you think of this album?
I think I think this is a really good album. I think, though, maybe personally my expectations were maybe a little too high comparatively, because I don't think it's as good as their last album. No. I think this album is very consistent. Like there's maybe only a couple of songs where I'm like, this is, doesn't really hit on all marks, but but for the most part, I don't think this album is nearly as good as their last album. I think Checkmate works a lot better in the context of the album because it goes within that, I think, a banging 5-song start from Memento Mori all the way to New Colossal Hate. I think all those songs are good and interesting. I especially like Gears and Reality Bath. Those two. I think Reality Bath I like because it's like I like Reality Bath because it's a little bit more fucking got a little more of a hit to it, I think, personally. And same thing with Gears. Gears has the same sort of thing going on. And surprisingly, I was just surprised that there was I guess there was some guest appearances on the last album, but they got Jamie Josta and Chuck Billy on here. Maybe, I mean, especially Roots. Roots is okay as a song, I think. Yeah. Poison Dream is a better song, and I think having Jamie Josta fits that song. The songs that I really don't really know how to feel on, or I don't know how to feel on Resurrection Man or Bloodshot Eyes, personally.
Ooh,
I don't know. I do really like... I like the last track because it just has a different vibe. I like On the Hook. It has just a completely different vibe for the rest of the album. It's a little bit more... it's less in your face. And if I'm not mistaken, that's a song that they incorporate the clean vocals and whatnot on, if I'm not mistaken. Right? I'm not getting
I know there's some on Bloodshot Eyes.
It might be the song I'm thinking of, but I just like the different vibe that On the Hook has. I think the thing that maybe this album suffers from is that there's not that moment on any of the songs that any of the songs really click. I think the closest it comes to it is there's the when it kind of picks up later in Gears, I think is the song, where it kind of picks up a little bit. I think it clicks there. The very end of On the Hook, I think, is there we go. That's a moment that I can remember. Otherwise, there's not really many moments on this album to me that are just boom, like on their last album where you have what's the why am I forgetting the name? I'll have to look it up. There's a couple songs from the last album that do that. There's the one that they do with the guy from Deftones.
Oh, yeah, Embers?
Embers, that's what it is. And Embers is a good one. And Still Echoes is another one. And was it some Pandemic? Why am I forgetting
Delusion Pandemic?
Delusion Pandemic. That was the other one.
Sounds hard.
Yeah. There's moments, and it's yes, or where it's this is Lamb of God. And this album's definitely Lamb of God. It's just, I think it's missing those really memorable moments. It's the least weird Lamb of God album, because Lamb of God puts a bunch of weird shit in all their songs. It's the most straightforward of those. Now I don't know what could kind of go into that, because one thing I was expecting them to kind of go and have a lot that they kind of did from that EP they put out a few years ago, where there was a lot of more experimental stuff, but there's not really a lot of that on this album. Now maybe it's because, if I'm not mistaken, I enjoyed it for what it was, but I know a lot of, by my perception, I think a lot of people were lukewarm on that. They were like, this is cool, but it's not what we expected or wanted. So maybe that's why. But like, it's again, this is a good album. I just maybe expected more from it, and maybe that's more on me than on them, like personally. So
well,
it's a fine album.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on expectations, but I mean, it's Lamb of God. You know, they always have super high expectations because they've delivered a lot of really good albums, in my opinion. And yeah, my expectations are pretty high too, just because I thought their previous release was just awesome. I mean, I jammed a shitload of Lamb of God today, and including listening to their previous album, and that album just slams. I never understood why people don't like it. Like, there is just banger after banger. I mean, like you said, it still echoes. Delusion Pandemic, 512, you know, Engage the Fear Machine. There are so many amazing songs on that album. And yeah, that Overlord, the track that has clean vocals, I don't hate it. And I will say, this album is not bad at all. It lacks that, like you said, the moments, or that at least one really huge song. And I think the closest it probably gets is Memento Mori. That's my favorite song on here. I think that song fucking slams from start to finish. And you know, I absolutely love the chorus in that song when Randy's going like, wake up, wake up, wake up, and then, you know, says Memento Mori, and the fucking riff comes back in. It's like, let's go. It's so fucking hard. I love it. And to me, that song is the closest to any of the other Lamb of God songs that just get me fired up. That's the song that got me closest. And to me, the other ones, like, they're good, but they just don't blow my mind. I still can't fully get into Checkmate besides the opening riff. To me, that chorus just lacks so much punch to it. And then, you know, you get to Gears, which I think is a good song, but that chorus too, to me, just lacks a lot of punch and a lot of fire. And some of these songs just feel a little bit too much by the numbers for Lamb of God, where I would like to see them take more risk. Fuck it. They're this deep into their career, and it's a shame that I feel like they almost feel like they can't, in a way, because of some of the reception. I think you just got to figure out how to do it right for the most part. And there's still some other songs on here. I think New Colossal Hate is a pretty good song. It has a really catchy chorus. That's one that I do like. I actually think Resurrection Man is a good song. It's super corny, especially the beginning. Just the very first time I was listening to this album, and I got to Resurrection Man, I'm like, okay. And then Randy just comes in, blah, out of fucking nowhere. And I'm like, this doesn't really fit, but then it gets into a really slow, chunky riff. I'm like, all right, I can deal with that. So that song's fun, but I agree with you on Roots. I cannot get into that song. I mean, Chuck Billy's awesome, but that song just does not do a lot for me. Like, I feel like when it just comes to pure thrash, like, Lamb of God just has way better songs than that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Poison Dream, I do like, and I just love the, like, kind of sudden turn in that song with the breakdown in the middle, and then Jamie Josta comes in, then Randy sings the next verse. I'm like, all right, this is corny as hell, but I can get into it. And yeah, I mean, the last two tracks too are fine. I think Bloodshot Eyes has a catchy riff. I mean, there's some good guitar riffs and guitar work on here from Mark Morton, Willie Adler. It's just, to me, just does not have that hook that so many awesome Lamb of God albums and songs have. And it's just, I just think this album's just lacking a little bit of fire. Like I said, it's not awful, and I've enjoyed myself the multiple times I've listened to it. But I think when it comes to Lamb of God, this is an album that I really don't think I'll ever really be coming back to that much. Maybe a couple songs, but they just have so much better stuff that just gets me fucking fired up. And to me, I mean, it's just my opinion, of course, but I almost can't see them, after they can hopefully eventually tour behind this album,
playing a lot from this album.
I don't see them playing a lot from this album. Maybe Memento Mori or Checkmate or something. I don't know. I just cannot see it. Especially on the bigger stages that Lamb of God has been playing on a lot recently. I mean, maybe in the smaller venues, who knows? But I don't know. It's not bad. And I guess another big thing too on this album is that Chris Adler, this is the first full album where Chris Adler's not drumming. He's not in a band anymore. They got Art Cruz. He used to be in Wings of Plague. I think Art is a fine drummer, but and very talented.
I think you can notice though. Like it's just you can tell. Like Chris Adler definitely has a style.
Yes, absolutely. It's not there. Yes, Chris Adler has such an identity that this album, like, there's some cool guitar or drum work on here. Do not get me wrong. Dude has a lot of talent, but when it's just hard to replace Chris Adler, and you can kind of tell something's gone. Even just listening, you know, an older Lamb of God, and then listening to this right after, you can just tell something's not there anymore. I mean, he has just such a style and sound that's just, it's not there. And yeah, Art needs to take it and make it his own for sure, because it's hard to replace someone like Chris Adler, but you can just tell. And that might be another thing that this album, why I feel it's just lacking somewhere. It's maybe it's in that drums. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. It's fine for sure, but I mean, I just think when it comes to Lamb of God albums, this is a little bit towards the bottom of the pile. And that's the thing. Like, I don't think Lamb of God has a bad album, but
no.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I would absolutely love to hear Memento Mori live, though. But in a smaller venue, like the Fillmore or something, we saw them,
and it's fucking like
1,000 sweaty dudes just rubbing all on each other. I mean, I would love to see it live without a pandemic, of course.
Yes,
but that would be hard. I would love that
at this point for a little while. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, that's really the only song I could think of I'd really want to see live from this album. I mean,
I wouldn't mind seeing a one-off show that's Lamb of God and Hatebreed, and Jamie Josta comes out to do Poison Dream.
Why not?
So that'd be heavy as shit. Why not? That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. What would you give this album?
I think a 7's fair.
Yeah.
I think it's just a very average album.
I agree. So yeah, let us know what you think of Lamb of God self-titled. Thanks for watching or listening. We'll see you later.